Matre Namaha. Today I want to discuss about Bhakti and Prapatti, the difference between these two and the usefulness of these two. Prayer. भूताश्रयो भूतपतिः सर्वलोकनमस्कृतः स्रष्टा संवर्तको वह्निः सर्वस्याधिरलोलुपः. The Supreme Brahman is the final goal of all who practice Bhakti Yoga. Meditation on the Lord with total love and devotion continuously without getting distracted by the pulls of the world is the main characteristic of this yoga. Krishna explains that those who worship him thus are very dear to him, and he becomes their savior to release them from samsara. In a discourse, Asuri Shri Madhavacharya drew attention to the fact that prapatti or surrender to the Lord, like Bhakti Yoga, is also sure means to moksha. Prapatti means nothing, a kind of sharanagati. Prapatti is a path for those who realize their inability to engage in the arduous demands of Bhakti Yoga. Prapatti is a complete, self-sufficient and direct sadhana to moksha. The Prapanna seeks the all-powerful and compassionate Lord who alone can grant moksha. Prapatti is known as Nyasa, Vidya, and it is mentioned in the Vedas, Nyasa Vidya. Nyasa means entrusting someone or something to a reliable person. Prapatti is the pledging oneself to God with the knowledge of one's undying relationship with the Lord. This is the Sesha Seshi Bhava, where he alone is the master and all else in creation is his possession. Prapatti has 5 angas or distinguishing features. The Prapanna has to have the firm commitment that he will do only what is Anukula, that abide by God's wishes to all times, and also refrain from Pratikula, that is, not do anything that will cause him displeasure, being fully aware that there is no way for him, owing to his inabilities, insufficiencies, and the enormous burden of karma and sin. He places total faith, Mahavishwasa, in the Lord to guide him out of samsara. This honest awareness of one's own helplessness absolves him of any sense of I and mine. The Lord, out of his divine grace, leads him out of samsara. Bhakti is the path of devotion. It is meditating towards the Lord, longing for his union, lamenting on his separation, doing as much service as possible to his pleasure. Karma and Jnana are ancillaries for Bhakti. Bhakti is the upaya, means to reach our Lord. Bhakti is sadhya upaya, achieved by our efforts or even known as Pravritti Marga, enduring in action. Bhakti as Upaya is known as Sadhana. Prapatti is absolute surrender to the lotus feet of Sriman Narayana. In another, having faith that Sriman Narayana's lotus feet is Upaya. Prapatti, also known as Nyasa or Sharanagati, is Siddha Upaya, means that is pre existing and not achieved by our efforts alone. This is so because the lotus feet is not achieved or created by our efforts. It is already existing and ever waiting to respond. This is Nivritti Marga, abstaining from action, abstaining from doing anything as means for liberation. Other that requesting and accepting the Lord as the means. Reference for bhakti, manmana bhava. To practice bhakti, one has to be cleansed for all his papa karmas. Since our papas are countless, the prayaschittams are also countless, which is almost impossible considering our finite life and knowledge. So, in all lieu of prayaschittams, a bhakta performs prapatti. The fruit for this surrender is cleaning the karmas. Then on bhakti is born and further leads to liberation. This is called anga prapatti. That means surrender after performing prapatti has to spend his lifetime in the service of his master. To generate more interest, to sing his glory, to chant his divine names, and to enjoy his nearness, the surrenderer uses bhakti as a medium. Bhakti here is used as a means to enjoy and experience the Lord, not as a means for liberation. For a bhakta, bhakti is a means for liberation, but prapatti is ancillary for cleaning karmas. For a prapanna, Lord's feet is the means for liberation, but bhakti helps in furtherance of his service. Bhakti, a mixture of action and meditation. Prapatti is a pure state of mind. A prapanna possesses the following: makes up his mind to do what pleases his master, not to do what displeases his master. Absolute faith and that alone is cannot be solved. He would protect to seek him alone as a protector, reveal his inability and meekness, and lastly, submit oneself. Bhakti is easy to conceive and understand, but difficult to practice. Prapatti is easy to do, but difficult to conceive, understand, or digest as a concept. A society needs almost all things of this world for its existence. It has demand in various aspect like social, material, psychophysical, spiritual, etc. As a part of spiritual demand of our life or society, we need to fulfill it through some discussing, realization, etc. So, there has been a discussion on the spiritual part of our life. Since our origin, people had much more discussion on the Vedas and Upanishads in early time due to some anti-social methods present in those scriptures. Another movement called Bhakti movement was originated. People felt the need of the study of new Bhakti movement, so they widely accept it. Ramanuja supported Vaishnavism and wandered around the country to make people aware of the ethics and teachings of Vaishnavism. He is the founder of Visishtadvaita philosophy. So, Ramanujam inspired the practice of Bhakti Yoga, which focused on the importance of bhakti over meditation. Bhakti Yoga or Bhakti Marga is a spiritual practice within Hinduism centered on devotion towards a personal God. He was also the one who ascended that worshipping Lord Vishnu is the only way that can help in attaining salvation. Ramanuja wrote Shri Bhashya and Vedartha Sangraha, Gita Bhashya, Vedanta Sara, Vedanta Deepa, Gadyatraya, Magnum Opus. These are the works by Sri Ramanujacharya. Sri Ramanuja establishes many temples and most importantly, he converted many people to Vaishnavism, Bhakti. The special feature of Bhakti is this, that by it a man loses all interest in everything else other than that which is done for the sake of the dearest. Bhakti is not with Ramanuja feeling but a special kind of knowledge which seeks to ignore everything that is not done for the sake of Ishvara, the dearest to us all. For Ramanuja, devotion is originated with the total observance of religious duties, which is prescribed in the scriptures, adhering to the classification of class and stages of life. The practice of bhakti presupposes 7 auxiliary disciplines. They are 1. Viveka, mean discrimination. Viveka is arising from bodily purity, which results from sattvic food and to the kind of food consumed, wherein seeker must pay careful attention. In the ease of maintenance of purity of body is directly proportional to the purity of mind. Viveka must be free from all kind of impurities. Number 2, Vimaka, control of, Vimoka means control of passion. Vimoka is an attempt to free oneself from karmic cycle, mean kama and krodha, and cling to desires. Third, abhyasa mean practice. It is a continuous practice with mental calm and detachment of meditation on the highest Brahman, wherein a seeker puts forth effort to fix the mind upon the auspicious form of Brahman immanent in everything. This stage is often described in the Dhyana Yoga. Fourth one, Kriya, mean performance of fivefold duties. It is the performance of the fivefold duty in accordance with one's ability, where the seeker continues the performance of duties towards God, teachers, elders, fellow beings, and the environment of plant and animal kingdom. This stage is considered as a means of purification of mind. Fifth one, Kalyanani, development of virtues. Ramanuja mentions 6 virtues to be cultivated by every seeker. The practice of virtue as the inner side of the duty, integrity, consisting of truthfulness, benevolence, serving others, non-stealing, and non-violence. Now, come to the point number 6. Anvasada, freedom from weakness. It is the freedom from despair, grieving over past misfortunes and sorrows and disappointment. It not allowed oneself overwhelmed with past bitter experiences that weaken the mind. Anudharsha, freedom from excessive goodness. Freedom from undue excitement or elation of spirit, a means somewhat between the extremes of joy and its absence. In this stage, the seeker should not allow oneself involved in too much of goodness or merits, which can also be an obstacle to bhakti. Now, types of bhakti. I've already discussed it. There are 2 types of bhakti in Ramanuja's philosophy. One is para bhakti, another is parama bhakti. Disinterested action, means nishkama karma, is essential for awakening higher knowledge. It is also called parajnana because it causes a third for direct intuition to God. That vision of God does not quench the spiritual thirst of the aspirant. It does not satisfy the cravings of his heart and generates continual feelings of union with God. This is known as Parama Bhakti. In other words, we may say that Parabhakti may develop into Parama Bhakti These are the three basic steps for a real bhakta, devotee, to proceed on the path of bhakti. The Parama Bhakti creates an intense feeling of prapatti at the holy feet of the Lord. The only goal of the bhakta is to acquire his constant servantship, kainkarya, and this is best severed by surrendering oneself at his holy feet. Now, prapatti or self surrender. It is a very old doctrine found in Ahirbudya Samhita, Lakshmi Tantra, Bharadwaja Samhita, and other Panchatantra works. Prapatti means self surrender, means Sharanagati. Bhakti, Jnana, Karma occupy the prominent place, and this is trio transcends other paths. But Ramananda regards Prapatti also not as fourth path, but as proper fulfillment of Bhakti Marga. Sharanagati is implicit in Bhakti. So, the paths of Jnana and Karma are not subordinate to Prapatti. Anybody adopting the method of Prapatti can be able to transcend three kinds of sorrow, and having acquired reality enjoys unending bliss forever. After the dissolution of the mortal fame, the aspirant enjoys Bhagavat Kainkaryam due to the boundless grace of the Lord. Prapatti needs no paraphernalia and it is open to everybody. Bhakti and Prapatti as a means of liberation according to Ramanujacharya. Ramanuja advises the aspirant to abstain from the worldly allurements and surrender himself unreservedly at the holy feet of the Lord. The question is that whether Prapatti can destroy the prarabdha karma of the aspirant. Ramanuja opines that the grace of God is powerful enough to destroy most to the karnas, yet a tree of them still remain because of that grace of God does not annihilation all the prarabdha karmas of the aspirants. Who is bound to reap the fruits of his own actions as ordained by God? Ramanuja recognizes that the value of prapatti or complete recognition towards gods as a distinct way to the attainment of Narada Bhakti. Through that, moksha or liberation possible. Prapatti or self-surrender to God is also possible. Only by constant memory of God. Until it is said that the jiva totally surrendering to God, he cannot attain the union with God. And God, when he is totally satisfied in prapatti, he bestows the Brahmajnana to the soul. Thus, there is no moksha without God's grace. For us, unless divine grace dawns, the knowledge or devotion alone cannot pave the way to liberation. Thus, Ramanuja believed that the divine grace which itself dawns on account of prapatti and upasana only, man can attain moksha or liberation. Steps of Prapatti. Always, and Ramanuja Acharya regarded Prapatti itself as real devotion from and it within the sense of supernormal and extreme emotional love and passion for God. For Ramanuja, Prapatti is open to all without any distraction of East, the caste or sex or creed. Prapatti is also called Sharanagati. It consists of 6 steps. Number 1, to so think will and act as would please God. Number 2, not to so think will not act as would displease. 3, faith that God would protect. 4th, appeal to God for protection. 5th, absolute self-surrender to God. 6th, feeling of the absolute dependence on God. 3 aspects of Pramati or Sharanagati. Phalasamarpana. It is the abandonment of the idea that happiness or self-satisfaction is the supreme end of Prapatti. The true follower of Prapatti is aware that he is dependent on absolute subsist entirely in God and exists only for his satisfaction and for none else. Next, Bhara Samarpana. It is the renunciation of the sense of personal responsibility in the act of protection. Swarupa Samarpana. It is not only the sun shedding of Ahankara but also the gift of one's soul. The self is to the Supreme Self, who is the owner without any trance of egoism whatsoever. How Bhakti and Prapatti leads to liberation or moksha? For Ramanuja, moksha or liberation is a state when the individual is freed from avidya and has the intuition of the Supreme. The state of Kaivalya or realization of one's own self as the highest is a lotus from emancipation. Ramanuja does not accept Jivan Mukhi. He contends that Mukti is one and it is not freedom in empirical life by actually transcending the world of space and time. For Visishtadvaita, what is supremely necessary for a mumukshu is the mercy of God. Mumukshutvam cannot attain liberation simply by its own efforts. It is only her own efforts. It is only when God pleased by devotion removes all obstacles, the devotee attains salvation. According to Bhagavad Gita, the end of our life is fine instead of 4. Dharmartha, Kama, Moksha and Bhakti. Bhakti is preceded by knowledge and action, and hence action and knowable age are subservient or subsidiary to Bhakti, and Bhakti is direct means to Moksha. Thus, Bhakti or devotion becomes a summum bonum of our life. A true lover of God does not want to be liberated because of liberation is an end subordinate to bhakti. For others it is sadhana. For Ramanuja is bhakti through which the individual soul attaining to liberation. For Ramanuja, bhakti is not merely an emotion or love and request or respect devoid of knowledge, but bhakti is a supreme self-surrender which one develops when the prescribed duties are performed and the trouble of karma or the jnana help to purify the mind and prepare it for bhakti. It is said that in Sri Bhashya that bhakti is a form of loving meditation on the nature of God. Bhakti is the upasana and meditation. In Upanishads, it is described that upasana means concentration of the mind only in love. The doctrine of Prapatti guarantees God to all jivas, souls, without any distinction, and offers an inspiring motive for the spirituality and service. According to Ramanuja, every jiva can intimate God directly and serve others by intuiting all the truth with all the beings are in Brahman and Brahman is in all beings. This view combines contemplated plateau, insight and active visiting. Look upon Vasishta thus follows the way of synthesis and bring to the light with the working of divine love with humanity. The tiger is entirely different in this regard, but only similar to Brahman. Alvars and Ramanujacharyas emphasized Prapatti as the easier and simpler path leading to the attainment of moksha. Like the Bhakta, the life of Prapanna is to be one continued remembrance and service to the Lord, and all of his activities are to be performed as for an explanation of his total self-surrender to the Lord Sriman Narayana, the one eternal 108 times to recite Narayana mantra and attain moksha also is one of the internal part of the Visishtadvaita. And self-surrendering to the Lord is finally the one eternal end. Shri Kantai Kalyana Nide Nidedram Shri Venkata Nivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam Mangalasasana Parayamudacharya Purogamaihi Sarvaisha Purvairacharya Satkruta Yastu Mangalam.